And now we are back live at the point at South Mountain, and you look at the tail of the tape between the champion, Mike McCallum, the challenger, Milton McCrory. Some believe that McCallum is older than 30 years old, and that is the most significant fact to be found there on the tail of the tape. We know that McCrory is 25. There are some who believe that McCallum, who has an interesting personal history, having left Kingston, Jamaica, lived in Nashville, Tennessee, lived in Brooklyn, New York, been through various managers and trainers. Some think he's as much as 35 years old. Milton McCrory has spent his entire boxing career, amateur and professional, under the tutelage of Emmanuel Stewart at the Kronk Gym in Detroit. Mike McCallum was also once a Kronk fighter, and the two of them know each other from those days and have sparred with each other, as we'll be talking about just later on. WBA rules for this championship fight. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. No standing 8 count. The mandatory 8 count is in effect. And the scoring will be by 3 judges on the 10-point must system.
You notice both fighters came out relatively dry, Jim. That would indicate that in deference to the tremendous heat here in Phoenix, neither of them wanted to work too hard in the dressing room getting heated up. They didn't want to waste any energy. They wanted to save every bit of energy they have, and I think that really is the keynote of this fight. Does Milton McCrory, who has tired against Colin Jones in both fights and tired in several of his other fights, have the stamina to stay with Michael McCallum as long as it takes to win? Good left hook there inside. As this first round develops, Mike McCallum is fighting exactly the wrong style to go in against Milton McCrory with. When Milton has trouble, it's from pressure. It's from people to make him back up. If you retreat like this and let Milton get in the fight, he can be devastating, as he was against Doug DeWitt in his most impressive victory since he moved up from welterweight. But if you put pressure on him, if you back him up, then all of his power goes away. Good left hand there by Milton.
This is an excellent start for Milton McCrory. McCallum is known to start cautiously and to start slowly. His manager, Lou Duva, promised us that he would attack in this fight, that he would go at McCrory. So far, that hasn't happened.
Yeah, I was surprised because, as I was saying, when he backs up, all of his power goes away and his effectiveness. But when Milton can come forward, when he fights a nice, slow, controlled pace, his nickname is the Iceman. He wants a cool pace here, a slow tempo, and he's getting it. So he can dictate the pace, as he is right now here in the first round. Good right-hand counter by McCallum.
McCallum is regarded as a polished defensive technician. Hard to hit. Slips punches very well. McCrory has landed a couple of times with the right here already in round 1.
But Milton needs a lot of room for that right. You see the room he's getting for the right and the left in combination. He needs room to put that right hand down the pipe. If you crowd him, if you pressure him, if you're in his face, if he's backing up, he doesn't have the room or the solid foundation to throw that right with power.
In case you've just joined us, the champion, Mike McCallum, is in the white trunks with red trim. The man in the gold trunks is former welterweight champion, now challenger for the WBA junior middleweight crown, Milton McCrory. 30 seconds to go in round 1. And it is a round in which the fight has begun just about the way Milton McCrory might have hoped in his wildest dreams that it would begin.
Low blow by McCallum. He has a tremendous reputation as a body puncher. His nickname, the Body Snatcher. That one was low, and he was warned by Joe Cortez. And a warning to McCrory for holding behind the head.
And we'll be staying between rounds here in Phoenix. So McCrory goes back to talk to Emmanuel Stewart. McCallum comes over to hear from George Benson and Lou Duva.
Now you're taking the best shots. You see what's going on, don't you? You know what you're doing. You're backing up. Mike. Drink it. You're hitting shots backing up. Now you know what you got to do with the guy, don't you? Yeah. You got to go forward to this guy. Yeah. Now you got to push him back with that jab. Jab at his chest, jab at his belly, jab at his head. Don't back away from this man. Okay. You understand? Now put pressure on him and make him back up.
Back him up with the jab.
Now keep backing him up with the jab, right?
See, now you're starting to pick up your rhythm at the end of the round. Now you got your rhythm going. Now you're starting to sweat. Now start doing it.
Stop pulling away from punches. You're pulling away from punches. I want you to get down and under punches. Don't pull away from the punches. That's what's making you get hit, see? See, slip punches, right? But keep pressure on him. Keep the jab going, chest and belly. When you get close, you know what you're hitting. Let's go.
We mentioned that these two men once sparred against each other over a period of time when both fought out of the Kronk Gym in Detroit. Mike McCallum left Emanuel Steward's organization in the Kronk Gym because he felt Steward was unfair to him in engineering a bout between Roberto Duran and Thomas Hearns at a time when McCallum ranked as the mandatory challenger for Duran's title.
And there is a lot of bad blood between Mike and Emanuel Steward because of that. Michael then with the Lou but left hook, and Milton is hurt.
Two good left hooks by McCallum.
And Milton is trying to hold on. McCallum, although he's got a tremendous number of knockouts, 27 and 30 fights, really doesn't have one-punch knockout power. But he hurt Milton McCrory with the first good punch he landed in this fight.
McCallum looks much more certain of himself now than he did in round one. You heard George Bett telling him to go forward, and now that's what he's doing. It is McCrory suddenly who's backing up. That left-hand shot changed the fight.
Get the jab out, Mike. That's it, baby, that's it.
Still a long way to go in round two.
Still a long way to go in this fight. Good body punches by McCallum. Milton was a little bit wide, a little bit loopy with that right hand he threw when he was trying to connect in the combination a few seconds ago. That happens to him when he's backing up. He just has to get off of his back foot with power to be effective with that right hand. McCallum is now reaching Milton McCrory with his punches.
Some fighters are poker faces, Alex, and
you see Milton
McCrory coming back with right hand.
Good left hook again by McCallum. McCallum, the more effective in-fighter. Milton McCrory wants his distance. Again, the left hook. You know, Donald Curry ate Milton alive with right hands over his jab. But Mike McCallum seems to find a way to get that left hook home inside. Even though Milton's holding his right up, again the left hook gets home. Milton goes left-handed here. Switches right back.
McCallum has landed at least 4 solid left hooks in this round.
Milton McCrory has no power in his punches right now. He's pushing that right hand. No snap at all.
.32 seconds to go in the round. I was going to say before, Alex, some fighters are poker faces. Milton McCrory is a fighter whose face always mirrors his situation in the ring. You can tell when he feels uncertain about himself, and for a while in this round, he had the look of a frightened deer.
Right here, you see Mike McCallum has backed off a little bit, not putting the pressure on Stan. I think he's giving Milton a little rest here that he really shouldn't be. It's tactically a mistake, I think.
Well, this is what McCallum has been criticized for, being overly cautious, overly patient, not having a killer instinct. Again, we will stay between rounds, this time to listen to the instructions of Emanuel Steward to Milton McCrory.
How you feeling? Yeah, look good. Man's getting tired. His strength is going fast. Strength is going fast, guys. When you get through, remember, push him hard when you get through.
What, man?
Yeah, push him hard when you get through.
Put a little water on his head, just a little bit. How does it feel? Pretty good?
Looking good, looking good. More from the top of your hit.
Watch his nose.
Yeah. Man is looking tired, buddy. You called a good fight. You got caught, you tired your man up.
Let's look for the left hook here. There it is, right inside, on the temple. The second swipe didn't do too much damage, but that first punch high in the head of Milton McCrory caused him to wobble. Now the second one. Milton misses. He's left-handed here, and boom. Gets caught with a left hook again inside.
And now round 3 begins. Well, the first round belonged to McCrory, and the second round certainly belonged to McCallum.
And again, judge the tempo of the round. When it's a wild round with a lot of punches and a lot of energy expended, it favors McCallum, because I believe he has the edge in stamina. If it's a cool, slow, nice, controlled tempo, it favors McCrory. Now we've reverted to the first round tempo. McCallum at distance, not putting any pressure on. Good body punch there. On the belt, a little bit below the belt. Cortez warned him.
There is McCrory's Kronk stablemate, Thomas Hearns, here to watch his friend in action.
tremendous closeness. We talk often about the closeness between the 1984 Olympic teammates. There is such pride and closeness that you can't imagine among the fighters who fight those gym wars every day at Kronk. There may be a reason why McCallum is fighting this way. He may know how much gas he has in his tank. A lot of people feel that Mike McCallum has to kill himself to make this 54-pound weight. Lou Dube, good combination there by McCrory. Lou Dube admitted that Mike ballooned up, came into camp at 171 in preparation for this fight. He got down gradually, which is the right way to do it without weakening yourself too much. But at age 30, perhaps older as rumored, Emmanuel Stewart says Mike McCallum doesn't have the stamina anymore, he doesn't have the legs, and he doesn't have the reflexes to beat his man, Milton McCrory.
Blood trickling from the nose of McCrory. Both fighters have landed solid punches in the last 20 seconds.
But still, a slow measured pace, and I think it's Milton's round going in here to the final 45 seconds of the round.
Back him up with that jab, back him up! Go forward with that jab, come on! Back him up, back him up!
You may have heard Lou Dube yelling at McCallum to back him up with the jab. McCallum now starting to go forward and stalk again.
Good right hand counter by McCallum. Milton holds on.
Back him up, back him up!
Milton holds on again. Took a kidney punch, blood again from Milton's nose.
Come on, back him up!
And we come to the end of round 3 of what is developing into an interesting and in some ways enigmatic bout. We'll be back. We begin round 4 of this WBA Junior Middleweight Championship fight, scheduled for 15 rounds here in a tent on the grounds of a hotel in Phoenix, where outside the temperature is in the high 80s or low 90s, and where the air conditioning system has been barely adequate inside. Both fighters in a heavy sweat.
You have the true Easter spirit to call this air conditioning barely adequate. It's non-existent.
I'm trying to be charitable.
And it's a factor, believe me. It makes the stamina factor even more significant.
McCrory was able to land the right hand flush on the face of McCallum, but it had very little force behind it. Milton is backing up consistently now.
He's ready to go, man! That right hand, go right up there, come on!
Good right hand counter by McCrory, and he follows it up. You saw the concern on Lou Dube's face. Milton's in too close. He should step back and get punching room. He had his man a little bit buzzed there, but he got in too close and let McCallum tie him up. Good straight left, snapping left from Milton. But again, he loops the right hand and takes a body punch in return.
But you make a good point. When he steps up into close quarters.
1-2 by Milton McCrory. And McCallum wobbles slightly.
McCrory starting to put punches together in effective combinations.
And Mike McCallum just is not coming back with anything significant. Milton's wide open coming in. But McCallum just is not able to get off. There's the left hook again that Milton's been eating since the opening round.
And another left
body
hook.
punch by McCallum. It takes patience to throw those body punches. It's not as flashy as the punches to the head. But if Mike McCallum can stay in this fight, you saw those body punches back Milton McCrory up. Just those 2 punches to the body cut off Milton McCrory's offense and made it bail out.
And I think the flow of blood from McCrory's nose has begun to bother him, Alex. He has pawed at the nose twice now with his right glove.
Yeah, and his mouth is wide open. Tough enough to get air in here. Milton McCrory is going to have to breathe through an open mouth.
But McCrory showing considerable resiliency.
ground from Milton.
His combinations have been the key to round 4. Again, we stay here live and listen to Duba and Benton with McCallum.
Now look, you're beautiful out there. Now let me see you throw that straight right hand to the body. Right. See, throw it straight into the body. See, because the body shots are killing it. You understand? Now when you get close, go to work in the body.
That's only Mike.
Now look. Punch with authority. Don't get sloppy. Don't let your punches get sloppy. Don't you get sloppy. You understand? Get yourself together. You understand? Right. You feel okay? All right, now you should start to give him the body punch. He stopped everything. Right in the belly. Right in the belly.
Let's take a look here at the punch McCrory hurt McCallum with here. The combination inside. The right hand and the left in combination. Missed the right, but those two punches, the right and then the left hook, I thought were the decisive punches in that round. McCallum did score well to the body late in the round. And you heard his corner, Benton and Duba, go to the body.
That's the style which has brought him to 30 consecutive wins as a professional, 27 of them knockouts. Don't be misled by that statistic. As Alex pointed out, he is not a one-punch knockout artist. He accumulates blows, many of them to the body, over the duration of a bout, and then tries to finish a weakened opponent.
Mike McCallum is really looking for his first win. I mean, he never has gotten into this bout. I gave him the second round, in which he scored that good left hook that hurt Milton and put him into the bout for that round. But in the overall look of the first 4 rounds, Mike McCallum just is not there the way we expect him to be. He came out dry. We pointed that out. He does not have the energy we've seen from him earlier in his career. Whether he gets it, whether he gets into it, remains to be seen.
Alex, do you believe he's only 30 years old?
I have no idea. I mean, he swears he is, and unless I find out otherwise, I'm inclined to believe him. It's not so much the age as it is the number of fights. He hasn't had a lot of really tough fights. He's never been down. He's never been cut. So he should be reasonably young in terms of boxing years. He had a great amateur career representing Jamaica. Was an Olympic fighter.
He believes that he has been unfairly overlooked as a commercial force within the sport. Has he?
Well, he pointed out quite accurately. To be considered great, you have to beat great opponents, and that's why coming into this bout, he was so grateful to be getting a fight with McCrory. He said, if I beat Milton McCrory, I'll get the recognition I deserve. Now he's backing McCrory up. Now he's putting some energy into his punches.
It's been a fight with 2 distinct patterns. The passive McCallum, who allows McCrory to put combinations together and gets himself into a hole. Good right hand there by McCrory. Or the aggressive McCallum, who backs McCrory up, punishes him to the body.
Another warning for low blow from referee Joe Cortez.
Come on, back him up, Mike! That's it! Come on, go right! Come on, go!
Milton's nose again bleeding, the blood smeared all over his face.
Come on, Mike!
40 seconds to go in the round. Round 5 of 15.
All the aggression here in round 5 by Mike McCallum. Milton bouncing, taking energy away from him, and he's not scoring.
Keep that jab!
That was a nice move by Milton. Scored. Oh, he walked into a right hand, and an uppercut, and a left hook. Milton goes left-handed again, switches back right. McCallum trying desperately to keep Milton McCrory backing up, keep him on his back foot.
Solid round, though, especially solid last minute of the round for Mike, the body snatcher McCallum. We begin round 6 of this WBA World Junior Middleweight Championship fight, and it begins with another solid left hook inside by Mike McCallum. So McCallum, who dominated the last minute of round 5 and scored heavily to the body and the head, again begins to back Milton McCrory up.
There was an opportunity right there when McCallum bent down to let his left go to the body of Milton McCrory, and he did not take it. I know Mike McCallum knows how to body punch. I mean, he's built a whole reputation on it. It's just a matter right now of does he have the energy to do it?
McCrory at this moment seems unwilling to press the attack. He's suffered a little bit inside in these past 2 rounds. Good look at Emmanuel Stewart, the guru of the Kronk Gymnasium, and as he looks on, Milton McCrory lands his first good combination of round 6.
You saw the jab from Mike McCallum to the body. That is as slow a jab as I've ever seen him throw. I mean, he's backing Milton McCrory up with it, and he's in the fight. It's just a different Mike McCallum than I'm used to seeing, and he's going to have to fight on guts. And there have been a lot of people through the years who question Mike's guts. They've said, yeah, he's got a lot of ability, but he doesn't have the guts to be a great champion. He doesn't have the fire in his belly that's necessary to be a champion. He makes tough fights out of fights that should be easy.
Come on, get up, buddy!
If he's going to win this fight, Mike McCallum's going to have to prove to himself and all the doubters and skeptics that he does have it.
Get that body, don't wait, don't wait!
Lou Duva screaming, hit that body, don't wait. But this has been a round of waiting for both fighters. You had the one left hook by McCallum early in the round, the combination by McCrory, and not much else.
Come on, Jamaica!
Lou Duva using every psychological ploy there is, saying, come on, Jamaica. Appealing to Mike McCallum. Oh, low body punch there by McCallum, and no warning I could see from Cortez.
Good straight left inside by McCrory, and what has been a fairly even round comes to a close. We bring you back live to the Canvas Inferno in Phoenix on the grounds of the Pointed South Mountain. Jim Lampley with Alex Wallow.
Crowd reacts again to the body punch. Low, below Milton McCrory's belt. Warning from Cortez.
So far, no points deducted. Cortez has simply mentioned to McCallum twice that he'd like for him to bring those blows up.
Jab by Milton McCrory. That's a punch he's got to use to keep McCallum from just walking in. He should be shooting it there. I think what you have here, Jim, is just 2 fighters who are tired, early in the fight tired.
And pacing themselves with an eye toward who can go 15 rounds. Pace has slowed considerably since the first 2 rounds.
They want to fight enough to win the round, but only enough to win the round. They really want to keep something in reserve.
Well, it's just hard for me to believe, Alex, that Milton McCrory can win a fight like this, because McCallum is inevitably going to score more inside on those occasions when they are in close.
No blood at the halfway point, round 7 for Milton McCrory's nose. He's got an excellent cut man, Ralph Citro in his corner.
That's it! Just drop it in there!
You can see the concentration of McCallum. It almost seems like he's looking straight at that nose and trying to pick at it with that left jab.
Let the right hand
This is no longer spectacular action, but
Let your right hand
I personally believe if I were Mike McCallum, I'd be quite satisfied with this. McCrory's going to have to pick up the tempo, and now he seems a little bit more constrained to do so.
I'd be satisfied in that McCallum is in this round, winning this round, but McCallum knows that Milton has a stamina problem, and he's not doing enough, really, to drain Milton. He's doing just enough, maybe, but if he was doing more body punching and being busier, I think he could take a lot of energy out of Milton, and he's not been able to do that.
McCallum now, for the first time, trying to load up the right hand and land a heavy blow. Not necessarily what he does best. close to the end of round 7 in a 15-round bout.
Oh, did you hear the thump of that left? The right was low. I couldn't see it. The left was low, but I'll tell you it hurt just from the sound of it.
And McCrory was stopped still for a moment. We'll be back. And now we begin round 8. Once again, the WBA junior middleweight world champion is Mike McCallum in the white trunks with the red trim. Milton McCrory in the yellow trunks out of Detroit is a former world welterweight champion who lost his welterweight unification title bout to Donald Curry in a second-round knockout. That's the only loss of McCrory's career. 31-1-1. McCallum is unbeaten at 30-0. Through the first 7 rounds of the bout, I personally have McCallum holding a slight edge.
That's it, man. That's it. Watch it with the jab. Watch
Jim, I have the fight dead even.
Put them together.
Well, I think we're both in the ballpark. It is clearly a close fight.
Round 6 even. Rounds 1, 3, 4 for McCrory, and 2, 5, 7 for McCallum. All 1-point rounds, 10-9 on the 10-point plus scoring system.
Good right hand from McCrory, but the punches which followed up had nothing on them.
Coming up here to the halfway point in this fight, scheduled for 15 rounds, and neither fighter yet has really asserted dominance in the fight.
A very measured pace. The temperature here in this tent, probably close to 100 degrees. After all, it's 90 outside.
Good right hand lead by Milton. McCallum again. Oh, winging right hand and a left hook behind it. Another winging right hand. We talked about Milton eating right hands from Donald Curry. He's just eaten 2 from Mike McCallum.
And McCrory's eyes are wide again as McCallum moves in to try to finish. Good right hand. Milton's head is bobbing around.
Tremendous right hand and that 4-punch flurry by McCallum. Milton should not be standing there trading. He should be using his legs to get away, but those body punches may have taken away his legs.
He can't move.
Milton
Under 30
left-handed.
seconds to go in the round.
Left and a right from Milton McCrory in retaliation.
And another left. Tremendous comeback.
McCrory now backing up McCallum.
McCallum trying to punch through the guard with the uppercut. Gets one through. McCrory hurt again. And the round comes to a close. We will be staying here.
Duva trying to do everything he can.
And now McCrory has a problem with the left eye as well. So the right eye is partially closed, although not too bad. Apparently there is a nick above the left eye.
That white substance you see there is, he just got knocked off. I believe that's Avitine that Ralph Citro was trying to push into the cut, a coagulant to stop the cut, but McCallum with his first punch knocked it off. How much got into the eye, into the cut, remains to be seen.
And this is where the accuracy of Mike McCallum's punches begins to pay off. And he's the kind of fighter who can target that.
And this is where the stamina of Milton McCrory, here the eye is open, wide open.
Yeah, now McCrory's in serious trouble.
And Milton is now no longer pawing at his nose, which is stopped. He's pawing at that left eye.
And squinting the eye and closing it. Cortez looks at him very closely. Milton's got trouble.
That eye is in terrible shape. That left eye cut could be a fight stopper.
Well, Mike McCallum wanted a big victory. A measure of revenge against Emmanuel Stewart, one of the men he believes helped to limit his opportunities in his career.
Milton McCrory's got a little piece of tape hanging from his left glove, and Joe Cortez could do him a favor by having that piece of tape cut off, because Milton...
He's going to do that right now. And McCallum is incensed.
Now let's watch very closely to see what happens to the eye in the corner. Emmanuel Stewart said, I don't care about the tape in his glove.
Yeah.
Get some of that blood off the eye. Lou Duva screaming in protest in the McCallum corner.
At least Lou hadn't gotten into the ring yet, as he did in London when Lloyd Hunnigan rushed across the ring to Johnny Bumpus.
Let me assure you that Lou would have done exactly the same thing if it had been a cut on his fighter.
No question about it.
That was strictly cosmetic, though. Emmanuel just cleaned off the blood. It continues to flow.
We are in round 9 of the scheduled 15. The bout suddenly does not look as though it's likely to last 15 rounds.
And Milton McCrory just has to fight to survive right now. Tremendous body punches, sapping whatever strength Milton McCrory has left. He's fighting very gamely. There's no quit in him at all.
But it's a window into Mike McCallum's soul as a fighter, that with the blood streaming from McCrory's eye, he went back to the body.
It's a tribute to his brains. Very smart, heady fighter. There he is with 2 punches to the body again.
Come on, Mike!
Milton McCrory should just be going into a stall right here. He should just be running away if he's got any legs left to try to keep punches off his eye, to try to get back to the corner to let Ralph Citro work on him. Oh, Milton McCrory is dead at his feet. If McCallum can put anything together here, he'll put him down.
Cortez watching closely.
Just guts and conditioning holding Milton McCrory up right now. McCallum cannot find the punches to put him away.
Once again, we will stay between rounds. We are staying right here. And let's watch Ralph Citro go to work now on the left eye of Milton McCrory. For the moment, Citro's the key figure in the ring.
Citro's going to clean it off. He's going to look at what he's got. Now he's going to press some Avitine into the cut. The Avitine is a substance, a legal substance, which he presses in. As soon as it hits the bleeding vein in the eye, it coagulates. His problem is stopping the blood long enough to let the Avitine get into the eye. As soon as he gets it in, you saw Ralph Citro say, "I got it, doctor, don't worry about it."
Your head on points, you just got to move your legs. Roger Stafford, moving in and out with your legs. That's what we're talking about, leg boxing, not just standing in one spot.
This, man.
Okay, let's get up.
He's more tired than you are, man.
I'm telling you, you have to use your legs. That's what we're telling
You
you.
got to feel
Leg
for McCrory.
boxing.
You heard him. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Moving your head.
And again, the Avitine on the eye. We'll see how long it takes to come off. I don't know how much Ralph Citro was able to get into the eye. From Citro's point of view, it was a successful between rounds because the doctor from the Arizona Commission did not go in and make a big point of looking into the eye. He saw it from a distance, did not clean it off himself, and did not delay Ralph Citro's ability to work on the eye himself. So Citro got 50 out of the 1 minute, 50 seconds out of the 1 minute to work on the eye.
And of course, you heard Emmanuel Stewart saying that he wanted Milton to use his legs. So for now, he tries to go back to boxing.
You might have heard Emmanuel reference, remember Roger Stafford? It was right here in Phoenix in a 10-round tune-up fight that Milton McCrory hurt his right hand terribly against Roger Stafford. He was clearly in command, but in the 8th round, his right hand just went completely. It was useless. So Milton McCrory got on his bicycle, used his jab. He did leg boxing, what Emmanuel just called leg boxing. After all the body punching from Mike McCallum, it's a big question whether Milton has that kind of leg power left.
Come on!
And remember that the big round from McCallum followed the round in which he closed with 2 vicious body shots. The left to the liver, which froze McCrory and seemed to take all the starch out of him. This is round 10. We'd like to alert our local stations along the line that, barring any further dramatic developments in this round, we will be taking a station break at the end of this stanza. McCallum going in once again.
Milton just pushing his punches now, nothing on him.
Suddenly forgetting the move.
Joe Cortez looking closely.
Stop it!
Lou Duva screaming, "Stop it," trying to put the idea in Joe Cortez's mind. But McCrory's still fighting back, and as long as he throws punches, Cortez, Milton is down. Milton, that cut is terrible.
And the very 8.
Mike McCallum ran right over. When the referee stopped the fight, Mike McCallum ran right over defiantly to Emanuel Stewart and told him that he had his revenge.
Got right up in Stewart's face. It was a remarkable scene as McCallum wins a victory that he very, very badly wanted.
Tremendous victory for McCallum at 2:20 of the 10th round. TKO, Joe Cortez wisely stopping the fight. Milton McCrory said he wanted to go on, but he wobbled right there at the last moment, and Cortez stopped the bout as he should have.
The 9th successful title defense for Mike McCallum, who makes no bones about the fact that he would like Donald Curry next. Very badly wants for his management to try to arrange a meeting for him with Donald Curry.
Let's take a look at the series of punches that led to the stoppage. Milton McCrory virtually defenseless, just trying to cover. Fires back, nothing on his left, pushes the right pitifully. McCallum just trying to line him up. Milton grimacing. You see Milton, he sees the punches coming, he just doesn't have enough to get out of the way of them.
Well, Milton showed some guts, Alex.
Showed a lot of guts.
Ultimately, the combination of the heat and the body punching through rounds 6, 7, and 8 took their toll. And then once he suffered the serious cut over the left eye, and that became a major concern, he just didn't have enough left to defend himself.
Let's see if there's one single punch, or is it just an accumulation? No, really nothing there. There's a right hand. At this point, Milton is just completely exhausted. Goes down, never unconscious, gets right up, probably at the count of 2. Looks over at his corner. Referee's going to ask him. He nods, I'm okay. Cortez continues the count, looks over at his corner again, blinks with his left eye, trying to blink the blood, and Cortez stops it.
I couldn't see whether or not Cortez got a sign from the corner at that point saying, okay. That's unlikely.
You see the embrace, the gesture of mutual respect. You see McCallum walking over, and now he's talking to Emanuel. Emanuel Stewart's right there on his left. He's talking to him. I don't know if this is...
He won the bout by technical knockout and still WBA junior middleweight champion, Mike the Body Snatcher McCallum.
So McCallum moves to 31-0 with 28 knockouts. And Milton McCrory absorbs the second loss of his career, falling to 31-2-1. We'll be back. Try to get a word with Mike McCallum after this word from our local stations.